Welcome to Scene Change, a podcast by the National Federation of the Blind Performing Arts Division. All about equality, opportunity, accessibility, and the arts. Here, you'll learn adaptive techniques from performers in the know. We are changing what it means to be blind, one stage at a time. Thank you for joining us today. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scene Change. I'm your host of the show, Lizzy Muhammad Park, and today is our second anniversary episode. So, we will be featuring the entire board of the National Federation of the Blind Performing Arts Division, which I'm no longer on, but it's great because I get to ask some of the hard questions and have fun and play games. So, I'll just welcome each of you individually, and do feel free to respond casually and feel free to cheer each other on as well. I want this to be really casual and fun. The purpose of today's episode is for our membership to really get to know you, not only as a performer, but also as a leader and a friend. So let's get going on forging some of those connections. First up, she was on the All Things Strings episode, and if you've ordered a violin holiday telegram, that was her you heard. It's Julia LeGrand. Welcome back to the show, Julia.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. I'm thrilled to be a member of the board now. So thank you very much.
Yay. And next up, our next board member, well, let's put it this way. They nabbed her from NABS and brought her to this show. It's Elizabeth Rouse. Glad to have you here, Elizabeth. Welcome.
Thanks so much, Lizzy. I'm really excited to be here with you guys.
And next up, we've got Leslie Hamrick. She was also on the All Things Strings episode, and we're so glad that she decided to come back and join us. Welcome to the show, Leslie.
Thank you very much, Lizzy. It's great to be here.
And now we start with some of our other board positions. Of course, we've got our treasurer. She was featured on the Mother's Day episode, which was just this past May, so this year's Mother's Day episode. And she has seen, of all of us, quite a few boards and quite a few changes happen over time in the Performing Arts Division. It is the one and only Lakeisha Holmes. Welcome to the show, Keisha.
Hi, thank you for having me again.
Anytime. Now we work our way up to secretary. Now this is this person's very first time on the show, but he's no stranger. He's always been behind the scenes. It's Chris Newsbomb. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Hey, Lizzy. It's great to be in front of the mic this time on Scene Change, and I interview people and ask questions a lot on other stuff that I do, so it's good to be in this position again where I just get to relax and get questions asked of me.
And have some fun. Don't forget about the fun.
That's right, and have some fun.
And next up, she was our star in Ayanta, and therefore was featured in an episode that we co-hosted with Poppercast. That was a really special one. It's the vice president of the Performing Arts Division, Christina Jones. Welcome to the show, Christina.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And last, but certainly not least, she was on our inaugural episode and a guest on our dance episode. She co-hosted our Mother's Day episode and even has her own segment on the show called Questions with Caitlin. Please let us give a warm welcome to the president of the Performing Arts Division, Caitlin McIntyre.
Oh, thank you, Lizzy. It's great to be here again.
Always glad to have you on the show. Okay, now let's jump right in with our very first game. The name of this game is called We Know Blank, but We Don't Know Blank. Now, I wish I had some game show music because the whole object is for you guys to essentially introduce each other and then take it away by introducing yourself. For example, I might say, if I were picking Caitlin, I would say, Caitlin, we know that you're an opera singer, but we don't know. And then Caitlin might say that I sing at Carnegie Hall. But I think that most people know both of those fun facts about her. So pick something
Actually,
different.
I didn't know the Carnegie Hall one. Or
Well,
Well,
this
yes, it was many, many years ago, but it did
Wow.
happen.
this would be a great way for you all to introduce yourselves. So pick a fun fact about yourself and think of what you know about your fellow board members. Please feel free to go on to come off mute and play the game at your leisure as you wish. I would
Okay.
recommend that new people jump in sooner because you may not know as much about other people, but hey, who knows? You just might.
Okay.
I
well,
was thinking the
oh,
exact same thing, Lizzy.
I'm sorry. Well, can I pick on Julia, please?
Go for it.
Okay.
So I'll say Chris, then Elizabeth next.
Okay, so this is Chris and Julia. We know that you made an appearance on this NPR show that I love called From the Top, where you played
Yes.
your violin.
True enough.
But we don't know.
We don't know that I have an older sister who's a cellist. She's 4 years older than me, but I actually started playing the violin before she started playing cello, and we're both very serious musicians.
That's really cool.
Love it.
Elizabeth, do you have one?
I guess that makes it my turn. I am going to harken back on this one to my first ever national convention, and I'm going to pick on Caitlin. So, Caitlin, we all know that you have this killer ability to lead non-visual dance workshops that, some of us have been lucky enough to participate in. I learned how to tango. But we don't know.
You don't know that for many years while I was growing up, probably from about the time I was 6 to about the time I left for college, I had a massive collection of toilet paper rolls. Yes, you heard that right.
I
I'm
wasn't
just not gonna
expecting
ask
that,
any
Caitlin. Expecting that.
I know. See, this is the name of the game. And my grand goal was to build a giant fortress, with all these toilet paper rolls making all the walls. And I collected them for years and years and years too, through several moves from Canada to Arizona to a different house. I collected them from international countries where I visited. And then sadly, a family member who shall remain nameless threw away the bulk of them on final move. And my dreams were crushed. No, I'm just kidding. It was probably time to move on. But yes.
That is excellent.
Yes.
Julia, would you like to go
popcorn?
next?
Let's see. We know that Elizabeth is bossy and likes to be a theater manager, be a stage manager, bossy in the best possible way. But we don't know.
Oh, you don't know how hard I'm laughing right now. Okay. We don't know that if we're actually going back to the roots of my time as a performing artiste, it's a toss-up of what came first. Me being the witch in Hansel and Gretel, which I definitely was like, I feel typecasted, but whatever. Or we could go to my lucrative middle school band career. I was a brass player. I played the trumpet until I got braces, and that was the end of me. It was very, very dashing, my short career. It was 2 years, but we lived them large.
That's how you do it. Who's next?
Okay. All right. So how about Leslie? We know that you received a degree in cello performance from Eastman School of Music, but we don't know.
You don't know that I performed at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. in 1996 and received the Panasonic Young Soloist Award.
That is
yes.
I love the Kennedy Center.
The part of VSA Arts, right? Was that?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I think we did talk about this once. That is fantastic.
Yeah, it was great.
So good. So fantastic. What a wonderful place to perform and organization. That's great.
Wow.
So, Christina, we know that you are a guide dog user, but we don't know
that I was a tap dancer for about, 30, no, not 30 years, 27 years of my life. So I've been doing it for longer than I've been singing.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that long. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked when I first learned that. And I was hoping that you'd use that one too. Everyone's going to want to learn how to tap dance now.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if Chris remembers this, but I do. And you guys might not know either.
Oh, no.
But maybe you all know that Chris attended the Louisiana Center for the Blind and the STEP program. I was the buddy counselor.
Oh, whoa,
wow.
I didn't remember. I don't remember this.
That's where I met you.
Oh, wow. Oh,
That's
wow.
so great.
So that's the we do know?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe y'all know.
Okay.
No.
All
Love
right.
it.
So we know, except for me, that that Keisha and I met when we were at LCB. But you might not know that my short-lived, maybe, theater career, my most interesting role probably was in 6th grade. Our middle school did Beauty and the Beast, and for whatever reason, I think it was just because I was still a male soprano, and they wanted to use that voice for all that it was worth. They cast me as Chip. Now, if you know anything about Chip, you'll know that he is rolled around on the tea cart that his mother, Mrs. Potts, is cast as. So if they had any worries about how their blind actor was going to get around on stage, that was one creative way they could solve it.
I love Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh.
That's such a good
I
show.
love
And you'd
that
make a
show.
perfect Chip.
Not anymore.
I don't know. I love it.
That
next,
is
next showcase of talent.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I love it.
Okay, so let's move on. This one is more of a question. We can just do this in a sort of round robin style. What is your performing art? And if you could perform with anyone in the world right now, who would it be and why? I guess it's not really one question. I guess it's like 5, but it's all right. You guys can all do this. So take one moment to think. I wish I had some TikTok music here.
What if I don't even need a moment to think, Lizzy?
Well, then jump right in.
I'm so ready. I love
Jane
this
has
question.
all the carts, so we'll just.
I love
Wait,
it.
and I do have a question. Is this person need to be living, or can it be anyone in history?
Ooh.
Okay, we'll broaden it. We'll say anyone in history.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Caitlin's like, let me expand the horizon. All right. So I would say my main performing art is theater. Is one of my 2 fields of study when I was in college. So I am that hoity-toity girl who will say, and if you're going to put it down, please spell it Theatre, not R.
Thank you.
Just mostly kidding, mostly. But I got to kind of test the waters in a lot of different ways when I was in school. So I did anything from acting to stage managing to directing. At one point I did, set building and different costume design. I tackled a lot. It was not a specific degree area. It was just theater in general. But if I get to do any kind of performance, I would love. You guys can hold this over my head forever. Me and Jeremy Jordan, are going to be doing something.
Yes.
I don't care if I'm stage managing that man. I don't care if I'm singing. I don't care if I'm bringing him water.
Right.
I actually went and saw Waitress on Broadway in New York City as a last minute choice because my Facebook algorithm knows how obsessed with Jeremy Jordan I am. And they were like, hey, he's going to be a waitress at this theater. And I looked at the person I was with and I was like, if you're not going, I'm going. So like, bye.
Waitress is amazing. Oh my gosh.
It's so good. He was Dr. Palmater. And I was like, this is just too beautiful. It's too good.
Wow. Fantastic.
I agree. Does anyone else just know their answer right off the top of their head like that?
I do. Once you said I could say someone who is no longer with us, then it popped into my mind. But that's really great, Elizabeth. Wow. I have a master's in music and voice, so I studied opera, and I also sing jazz and musical theater and other styles. I play a little guitar, piano, and ukulele, and I teach instruments now, voice, piano, guitar, currently virtually, and also do some ballroom dancing, among trying other performing arts. And I just think it would be so incredible. So I know I studied opera, so I should probably be saying Renee Fleming or Joyce DiDonato or somebody like that. But I have to go with Ella Fitzgerald just because it would be so incredible to scat up a storm with her.
She is the most wonderful.
I know. She's absolutely amazing. So that would be just outstanding to be on a stage with her. And I mean, yeah, I'm with you, Elizabeth. Probably bringing her water would be equally delightful. But, just to get to sing, to be with incredible jazz musicians and improvising. And oh my gosh, that would be amazing. So...
Okay, I'll go. So my performing arts are singing, piano, and I do some radio and some podcasting and that kind of stuff. As far as styles, I mean, I started out in singing in church like so many of us have. And have stayed in that world a lot, but I've expanded into a lot of musical theater and some classical and just a lot of styles. But I definitely have a passion for Christian and gospel stuff, but also for musical theater. And so I'll go with the musical theater for this. And you can hold this over my head if you want, just like we were saying with Elizabeth. But I hope that there are some who will agree here. If there would be anybody that I would love to sing a duet with or whatever, or do something with, Julie Andrews. I have been in love with her voice since I saw Sound of Music when I was like 4. And she's just the best.
I love that, Chris. Sound of Music is my dad's favorite musical.
Right.
So we've seen that in performance before. It's a beautiful show.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so fun. Okay, I can go next. I am primarily a classical violinist. I have dabbled a bit in jazz, not really so much anymore, but that's something I sort of hope to get back to at some point in my life. And then I fantasize about podcasting and doing a little bit of voice work, but that's mostly a fantasy, and very much not a reality yet. Let's say yet. Okay. Yet. But if I were to, man, this is so difficult. I guess I would say playing. I'm going to give 2 answers just because that maybe is the best, descriptor of my personality overall. It's just that I can't give a single answer.
Yep. Pretty much.
So, Bach, just, like playing anything, like being conducted by Bach. How can you not do that, Yeah.
I think you just took it to the next level, Julia. That's
amazing. To take it right down back to earth. I'm not really an actress, but if I theoretically was, I think like sharing the screen or anything like that with Jennifer Ely would be my dream come true. I am one of the world's biggest Pride and Prejudice fans in the BBC miniseries. I watch it every year, and Jennifer Ely read the entire book during COVID on YouTube. Anyway, she's just amazing.
What?
I love her so much.
I need to hear this.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Pride and Prejudice is top 5 books I've ever read in my entire life.
Like, it's amazing.
Iconic.
Is
so
Jennifer Ely?
It's definitely iconic.
Or something.
What'd you say? No, it's literally just on YouTube.
Okay, I'm looking this up after we record this.
I know, right? Say, don't do it right now, Chris.
I know.
I was going to say, are you sure you're not looking at it right now?
Yeah.
It's really fun too because her dog will just like come and lick her in the face halfway through. So it's very casual.
So good, Julia. Nice.
And Keisha, you say you're up next.
Yes. Okay. So I have dabbled a little bit in music. I used to be in choir or chorus for a long time. I actually did a little bit of theater. I was in the Wizard of Oz when I was in elementary school. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what character?
I don't even remember. It's been so long. I just remember falling on the floor on the stage. I was one of those people acting. But so what I do now is I podcast. I'm taking a hiatus right now because life is just crazy, but I do podcasting. And so there's so many people that I would perform with, but if I were to pick someone, and obviously it would just be for them to like record my theme song, it would probably be Beyonce because I spent like $600 to go see her in concert.
I knew someone was going to say Beyonce. I didn't know who it would be.
I would never do that again, but I think that I would never pay that much ever again. I don't think.
But was it worth it?
Oh yeah, it was definitely worth it for sure. I would do it again in my dreams if it was free. But I would love for her to perform my like the theme song. That would be like awesome.
Yeah,
that'd
Beyonce
be really cool.
singing the podcast jingle there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Leslie, Christina.
I'll go.
Go for it.
So I am a professional cellist. My other 2 instruments are piano and voice. And as of July of this year, I have become certified in Suzuki Book 2 for cello.
Congrats.
Thank you. And what else? Oh, I would love more than anything to perform with Yo-Yo Ma. I met him.
Absolutely.
I first met him when I was 9 years old, and I had been playing cello for a year.
Oh my god!
And I met.
How did that happen?
Yeah,
at Ravinia. He was playing at Ravinia, and my dad arranged it somehow. My dad always had a way of making people, or not making people, but he always had a way of pulling some strings and, and making things happen. So I guess he talked to one of the security guards and explained the situation.
That's awesome.
That I was blind and I've been playing cello for a year, and it was just so awesome to get to meet Yo-Yo Ma. And then I heard him play at Orchestra Hall when I was 18. And then I got to meet him again at Ravinia when I was 20. And it was just amazing. And then I've heard him play twice more at Millennium Park.
Wow.
I would love to perform with him, whether it was a duet or play for him or whatever. It would just be so exciting.
I mean, y'all know how uneasy playing the blind card makes so many of us, but when playing the blind card allows you to meet Yo-Yo Ma,
totally worth it, man.
Totally worth it.
Maybe the one time I may go to Beyonce and try that, a Beyonce concert and try that.
It's like, hey, I'm blind.
Let's get Leslie's No.
Yeah, no, right?
Okay.
Leslie's going to be your manager.
Exactly.
He's no longer with us, but
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
he was very good at playing the blind card when it was absolutely
Well, his
necessary.
memory lives on in
That's right.
joyful,
Yes, he
joyful
does.
spirituality.
Yes,
That's great.
he does.
Great. Love it.
And Christina.
So I am a professional opera singer by trade, as well as a voice teacher, private voice teacher and Braille music teacher. But so I would love, like to resurrect the dead and perform for with Bernstein, because I've heard that he was just totally on fire with conducting whatever he conducted, and just obviously he was a composer, and I've sung some of his stuff, and I would totally fangirl over Bernstein. That would be me.
I think you and Julia were the classiest with Bernstein and Bach.
Yes, exactly.
I stand shamelessly by Jeremy Jordan.
Shameless. You should.
Even as Jamie, the toxic man in the last 5 years. I'll take him however he wants to come, man.
He'll get his water and everything. So for this question, I'm going to start off with Caitlin and then work my way down the board. Essentially, what this question is for the members to know, now that they've gotten to know you and more of the fun side of you, I'm sure they want to know, what does the division have in store for its members this year? We've done all sorts of things in the past. I'm sure some of those things will be continued. Maybe some of those things will be discontinued, or maybe we'll have some new additions. Whether, regardless of whether certain activities and events are continued or discontinued. So, Caitlin, could you just start us off by just letting us know what you all have discussed so far, what the members could be looking forward to?
Absolutely. Do you want me to just name one thing or several?
Maybe just one, so that other people can chime in.
Yes. Okay.
Your favorite.
Well,
no.
I know. I think, what I actually want to discuss here is something that we have all been very excited about for a while. And it's not exactly an event or a happening, but it is a new resource, if I may call it that. And which is available to our members and to anyone who would like to visit our website. We finally have a resources page. Yay. So this is something, we've been working on for a few years, trying to collect various, training programs for blind performers, scholarships and awards, articles, blogs, a whole host of things. We talk about software like Dancing Dots, IC Music, a training program, all kinds of fun stuff in there. So we have finally compiled this list, and it is on our website, nfb-pad.org. You can go to our resources tab and take a look, because I think there's some really cool stuff in there. There's stuff for musicians, dancers, sound engineers, really some neat programs and opportunities, and a host of articles from the Braille Monitor and the Voice of the Nation's Blind blog on there. And I want to say too, hopefully use this to further your performing goals. Hopefully it can be useful to, people who are either new to performing or looking for some ways to expand their performing, whatever it may be. But also, if you have other resources, let us know, because this is only, this is like the tip of the iceberg with what is out there. So we welcome any resources related to blindness and performance. And send us your thoughts, because we want to continue to grow this resources page so that it can be most impactful for everyone involved. So that is something I am very thrilled that is finally live and growing and continuing to be developed as it goes along. But it is there, and you can take a look at nfb-pad.org.
Oh, here. That was an awesome promotion.
You know me.
I know. Yes, Christina, do you have one?
I do, actually. So for me, the thing that I find the most meaningful about the Performing Arts Division, as far as resources, yes, but also finding people who are possibly in the same art form or a different art form from you who might be able to give you some tips and tricks. And I think that's completely invaluable. Like, all the resources in the world are, totally helpful. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes we might not have it listed yet or something, and someone out there has probably used it or heard of it. And I think that's what I really appreciate, the network.
100% agree. 100%.
Can I just jump in to say that there are several ways to tap into that network too?
Go for it.
Okay, because I'm not sure which one you were thinking of specifically, Christina, but we, in our in-person events, that's so meaningful when you can actually talk to people face to face, which is fantastic at National Convention and other things throughout the year. But throughout the year, we do have our email listserv and our Facebook group, which I think are really fantastic ways to keep that networking alive when you can't actually be physically with someone. So check those out if you're not already. Our Facebook group, National Federation of the Blind Performing Arts Division group, and our email listserv on the nfbnet.org. It's called Perform Talk, but you can find all that on our website. So there you go. Do stay connected with us. I totally agree, Christina. It's great.
Awesome. Chris, how about you?
Well, something that I'm really excited about, by the way, shameless secretary, as Caitlin and Christina were talking, I was looking back at my notes from the last two board meetings, like, am I missing something? What's exciting that we're doing? But I found something cool that we talked about at our last meeting that I'm really excited about. As we're getting new members, that's wonderful that we're getting new members, but how are we welcoming them in? How are we letting them know that they're included and that they can be a part of our organization? So we actually have a new position within the organization called the Membership Coordinator or Coordinators. And so we're really trying to increase our efforts for outreach to new members so that when you join us as a new member from the beginning, you'll get direct contact with division leadership. You'll get a welcome packet that has stuff in it, and you have access not just to the Performing Arts Division, but you can get connected with the National Federation of the Blind in your state and your county, your town, whatever. We're primarily part of the National Federation of the Blind, which is this big network and great family organization. So I'm really excited about being a part of that, so that when you guys, if you're not a member already, why not? You should come and hang out with us, and so that we can get to call you and get to know you on a personal level. So while you're checking out the resources page at nfb-pad.org, you can also click on the Become a Member page and do what you need to do for that, and come join us. You'll love it.
Indeed, they will. Keisha, what are you looking forward to this year for the members?
Okay, so I don't think that it would be right if I didn't say anything about money.
I agree.
Of course.
This is why we love you. No, I'm just kidding. We love you for many reasons.
I'm excited about the getting Zelle set up for the members. I know a lot of members pay through PayPal, and sometimes you have to pay extra so that you don't so that we don't have to eat the cost for the fees and everything. But with Zelle, you can just pay whatever you like. If your dues are $5, you just pay $5, and I like it. This is a personal reason, because it goes straight to our bank account and I don't have to worry about it over. So I'm looking forward to that. And Zelle is it's friendly and it's easy to work with. So
that'll be really convenient for the members. Yeah. I'm sure everybody's looking forward to that. I know I am. Let's see. Leslie, how about you? What are you looking forward to for the members this year?
I am looking forward to participating in the membership calls. And they're always so much fun, and getting more of our members on board with the membership calls and promoting them even further. And one thing that I was thinking that I would love to see the Performing Arts Division get involved in as a long-term goal would be, it has to do with, I can't emphasize networking enough.
Right.
And it's so important. And so with the Performing Arts Division, if we could eventually have some kind of like career connect type of program where a member could come to us and say, hey, I want to go into cello performance and I'm starting college in the fall, or I'm going into theater, and what do I do? How do I adapt? Having the resources is absolutely totally important, but there's nothing like that personal connection, whether it's in person or on Zoom or on the phone, just that personal connection, talking to someone who's been there and who's made it work.
So Leslie, would you say that membership calls are a time where people can sort of forge that personal connection or network or anything along those lines? Would that be helpful to members or in that way? Or?
Yeah, either in that way, or if somehow there would be, whether it be the board member or the division can arrange, like, okay, you're going into cello performance, I'll connect you with so-and-so.
I see.
So-and-so.
And I think we have done that some too. And I totally agree with you, Leslie. I think that's a great goal to continue, because it is so helpful to have those personal connections. And I know, anyone who reaches out to us, we will certainly, even if it's not a formalized program right now, we will certainly do our best to connect you with someone, because it's so useful. And I've connected harpists before, or whatever it might be, and so it's great. It's you're totally spot on there, Leslie.
I'm still looking for those Native American flute players we had join us a couple of years back.
I know. If you hear this, reach out to us. Please.
So really cool story, if it's okay, Lizzy, about networking, because that seems to be a theme. So if there's one thing that really brought that point home to me, it was when we actually got a call from a teacher of blind students in Texas, who was having a student whose teacher was about to drop him from an audio production class. I didn't even know that was a thing you could take in high school, but I guess it is. But he was about to drop this kid from the class because he didn't think that a blind student could use the software. Well, the software happens to be used by a lot of blind sound engineers, and we knew it. So Caitlin asked me to get in touch with this teacher. I did, and I didn't know a lot of information about it personally, but we ended up getting a Zoom call together between her, the classroom teacher, me, and one of the other members of our production team here for this podcast, who uses the very software that this class was using. So we went through one by one the teacher's concerns, and they were addressed, and they were dealt with. The TVI and the student worked together on learning the voiceover keystrokes and all the shortcuts he needed. And he went from almost being dropped from the class mid-semester to finishing his final project and finishing the class successfully. And that's
awesome.
what
Great.
the networking
Wonderful.
from our division does.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Such a good story, Chris. Yeah, absolutely.
Really, really good. Yeah. So, these are just a few of the things that the Performing Arts Division can help people with. Elizabeth, Julia, is there anything that either of you would like to chime in with, or anything that you guys are excited for the coming year?
So one thing I'm really excited for is the continuation of the quarterly spotlight letter for members. And I believe you can also purchase it if you're not a member.
Very good.
But yeah, that's something I've sort of been involved with for a little bit, helping to edit, but I'm really excited to continue doing that because just reading through all the stuff as I put it together, there's so much interesting information that gets disseminated where you can learn about just such a variety of things. And it's sometimes an easier format than the membership calls. There's no substitute for the membership calls, so everyone should come join the membership calls, but sometimes the spotlight can be a little more digestible. And I'm really excited about a new feature that Elizabeth introduced. And I believe we're calling it Performer Profiles, where we will spotlight individual members who aren't in leadership, but who are making such awesome contributions to our division and to, raising the expectations for blind performers in their daily lives. So please let us know if
I love that.
Have people in mind for future issues. And we're just so, at least I, am so excited about that new feature and about continuing with the Spotlight newsletter.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Well said. Yeah.
Elizabeth, you're up.
Yeah, absolutely. Julia stole mine.
All right. I feel like that's plagiarism, although I tried to.
I appreciate the credit. I will
just
just add kind of the inspiration from that, something that I've learned in the NFB over the last couple of years. I was a scholarship finalist in 2018. And one of the greatest things that the Federation taught me, like in this short, 7-day window, was that I thought I was living my best life. And I was not. I had not really sat down to think through, this is what I want to do with my life and here's how I'm going to do it. But convention in Orlando was a way for me to walk up to people and be mentored by people who were literally living their best lives. And seeing that, I know the word inspiration is kind of tricky for us, but that really kind of helped me kick my butt into gear. It literally was the inspiration for me to start using my cane on a daily basis. And I think my thought with Performer Profiles is that, I can't read Braille music. I, with the exception of my trumpeting, my very brief career, I don't play an instrument. I've tried to teach myself the ukulele and I failed miserably. But I think it's going to be a really awesome way to show each other by highlighting some of the incredible things that our members are doing. Like, hey, y'all, let's lift each other up together because there is so much world out there that we can tackle. Someone just needs to show us how. And I think that's going to be a really awesome part of Performer Profiles this year.
Love this.
I agree 100%. It's so important that people are able to have models and role models and know what's possible. Honestly, if sighted people didn't have models or role models, who knows, the amount of things that they wouldn't have accomplished, So just, I think that's a really good idea, having these profiles, so that we can all learn from each other. I absolutely love that. And just adding that as yet another resource for people to have at their fingertips. So,
and just to give Elizabeth full credit, not only did she come up with one title, she came up with 4 different titles for us to all choose from. So she's really the title production person. I feel like that's a performing artist.
Such creativity.
That English degree, man, I'm really putting it to work.
That's right.
Well, our next game is a pretty easy one. I'm calling it Preferred Performance. Maybe I should have called up Elizabeth before I named my games. Get some help with these titles. But this is about your preferred performance style. So are you more of a solo, a duet? Do you like a large group? Are you the backup singer? Are you the lead singer, trio? Tell us. And of course, why? Because I always ask why. So feel free to jump in as you have your answer.
Okay. I can, even though I don't think I have a good answer.
No. Every answer is a good answer. Go for it.
Okay. So I think that I like playing in a small group or solo, but for different reasons. And I feel like it's almost like comparing apples and oranges. So I don't think I can put one over the other.
But you told us that's your personality, right? So I'm not surprised.
Exactly. I should just substitute my name with Indecisive Legrand. Okay.
I call it Dixie Legrand.
So small group is just lovely because not only are you making music, but you're sort of doing something bigger because there's communication going on between you and the other people playing. And so I think it's not just your musical ideas. And I guess this is just in the context of music. I should have prefaced that. But anyway, doing music in a small group is just an amazing way. The group is small enough so you can understand each person's unique contribution to the group, and you can reflect that in your own playing, make everyone else's playing better through your ideas, hopefully. And then solo, I think can be very liberating because you get to express your complete sort of undiluted self, which is terrifying, but also very freeing, and there's nothing like it.
Wow, so beautifully said.
Wow, okay, profound. It went from indecisive to profound.
It's true. That's so true. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm gonna kind of be indecisive too, but probably not as profound. So it depends on what I'm doing. If it's piano, then of course solo. I've heard piano duets. I've never played in one, but they just seem kind of complicated to me. And so I think for my own sanity, I would be better off in a piano solo. Vocals, I've done all of that. Solo, duet, small group, large group. And I'm recently finding a lot of fun in a duet or trio, maybe your small group. Duets especially, because harmonies are just so fun and there's so much variety of sound that can be made out of two or three voices, especially in improvised harmony. There's just something amazing about musicians once they start. There's just something in us where we just sync, where we're just in harmony, and we're like, oh, this sounds good, and it does. Most of the time it really does. So that's really cool to me. And then as far as the other stuff I do, the radio and the podcasting stuff, I think that I thrive best. I've done a lot of different settings for that too, but I think I thrive best in the solo to maybe 3 people format. I've done the large group. I get distracted very easily, and that if that doesn't drive me crazy, it definitely drives the producers I'm working with crazy. So that's so I guess that's the really long-winded answer, but it really depends on the way I'm performing. But I'm finding lately that if you get a small group together in the harmonies, there's just something really beautiful and fun about that.
Chris, I will compensate for your long-winded answer with a short-winded answer, which I know for people who know me is going to be a shocker. I am all about small group. I don't care if it's theater, if it's music, if it's dance. I get a little nervous when I'm singing by myself or something to that degree.
Who doesn't?
So I really like the fact that in my mind, I step up for other people. I'm more confident because I'm part of something bigger than just me. And I'm very much an extrovert. I'm very much a people person. So I think as long as I'm getting along with the people in that small
Right.
group. I really love the intimacy and the personability, not only of bringing your audience into your performance, but like you could tell so much about a group of people just based on how they
Yeah.
work together. And that's something really, really special that I don't think a lot of, career entities get to venture into like we do in the performing arts.
Mhm.
And you can stage manage them.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I can be bossy in the best way.
Right.
Oh my gosh. My goodness, your answers are all so great. I am also going to be a little bit of an indecisive McIntyre here, but I and, that's my personality too. I just want to make everybody happy. So I want to pick all the things because I don't want to leave anyone out.
Right.
No, but I mean, there is something marvelously spectacular. I guess for solo performing to me is never truly solo performing because sure I could sing a cappella, but that's not my favorite. I don't need to be the only one singing on stage a cappella unless I'm doing an American Idol audition, which is another story. But I don't need to stand it. But a solo with an orchestra, now that is spectacular. I mean, talk about incredibly rewarding and a little terrifying. I mean, I think the most nervous I've ever been for an audition was singing with an orchestra for a concerto competition, and I was like, oh my gosh. But it's incredibly enriching and just amazing to breathe with the conductor and to have all these colors behind you enriching what you're doing. It's amazing. But and then there's choir where you get to collaborate with so many people and become one voice and just create sounds that you can't possibly create on your own. So I mean, all these things, but I think I do have to go with the small ensemble for music, similarly, because you still get to have your moment and shine, and yet you are just breathing with others and you're creating those close harmonies, whether it's with a few voices. I'm thinking actually more particularly, I love doing maybe like voice, piano, cello, or I had on my graduate recital, I had a small ensemble version of some Dvorak biblical songs, and it was a couple strings and clarinet, or actually like four strings and clarinet, and it was just fantastic. That was amazing. But then one final one I'll mention is the one-on-one collaboration, if you will, in ballroom dancing, where you get to work with one person, and again, it's kind of like the two of you can achieve more than you can do on your own. I mean, sure, there's some fabulous styles of dance where you can do incredible things on your own, but the partnership of ballroom is this give and take and this leading and following, and just so beautiful to create that together. And so for me, I love getting to do that with my husband, who started out as my dance partner, and you can hear more of that story on another podcast, I think. But it's such a blessing to get.
Yes,
to
you can.
do
The February Valentine's Day episode.
That's right. So to get to do that together is a really cool form of collaboration. That it's like, wow! Not only do we get to have this ballroom, but we have so much depth to our relationship that we can add in our performance in our competitions. So that is really fun.
That's awesome.
So my preferred performance style, like Caitlin said earlier, like there is nothing, just nothing more magical and amazing than singing with an orchestra or a choir or something, like a large ensemble. Like, all of that going together would be like a choral symphonic piece. Like, oh my gosh, there's nothing more powerful than that, and it's such an incredible feeling. However, I really love However, I really love building a relationship with a pianist and collaborating one-on-one with a pianist over a long period of time, not just once. I mean, if it's like magic the one time, great, but but just building a relationship and really learning the ins and outs of working with each other and each other's instrument. And picking pieces that the other person plays well and loves to play, and that you both love, doing together. So that's my favorite thing to do.
That's really cool. I've never really thought about the dynamic between a singer and a pianist, or any other instrumentalist and their pianist, but it sounds like it's very important. So we'll need to do some digging and interviewing, some deeper interviewing on that. Leslie, how about you?
I think I'm going to be a little indecisive here and pick more than one thing.
Go for it.
With solo, it's more terrifying if I'm up there playing something like an unaccompanied Bach cello suite. For whatever reason, that makes me so nervous. But if I'm playing with a pianist, it's pretty darn cool to make that music together and to collaborate and to tell a story between both instruments of piano and cello. And then as far as playing in a chamber group, I love playing in either a string quartet or a quintet because it's one person on each part, but it's amazing to hear them all go together when you put everybody together. And it's just very magical. It's like, wow, this is so cool. And then that ties into playing an orchestra where you get everybody in one space, the full orchestra, and you're just playing together. I call it the musical train. Once you get on the musical train, it doesn't stop. And
I love that analogy.
Whether you're playing fast or slow, for example, I have a concert this Saturday with the Elmhurst Symphony, and the overture that we are starting with is the overture to the Bartered Bride. And it is fast and it just flies. And to just have the ensemble tight as one, it really is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I like what you said about the quartet. It reminded me a lot of what Chris said about harmonizing with just, a few voices. So that's great. I think we're going to wrap this show up with one final game, and this should be a pretty pump it up kind of game. Anyone who was here about 2 years ago, I think that was now, we did a game about if we were all in New Orleans together, what we would eat. Well, I'm calling this one, Let's Get Pizza. So we have to decide, not we, sorry. You all have to decide and agree on where you're getting pizza.
Oh.
Are you gonna, walk there? Are you ordering in? Are you gonna eat there? Are you doing takeout? You have to agree on the costs because the division will pay for it. And
we will.
Yeah.
Wonder what Keisha thinks about that.
In this hypothetical scenario, and
Charity approved it. It's fine.
Exactly.
We talked about it during our last board meeting.
Wait, I wasn't there.
I see it. It's in the minutes. It's in the minutes.
And what to order. So I will give you all 3 minutes to decide. The clock starts now.
Oh. Okay, wait.
I mean, Little Caesars because the pizza's like $5. So I'm just.
That's true.
Okay, here's the thing.
Staple during college.
You pay for.
Okay, here's the thing. Domino's, you can get 2 mediums for $6 each.
Oh, I think they're having a special, right? Yeah. 2 mediums.
Yeah,
as long as we buy an even number of medium pizzas.
No, see, the problem is that whenever I have Domino's, like my stomach explodes.
Oh,
so
that's the last thing you want is Christina's stomach exploding.
Yeah, we don't want that.
We don't have a vice president anymore. Okay, so
no,
see that we're not going to be able to.
I think Christina will still be alive. None of you will be alive.
I mean, I got used to Domino's because it was on my campus, but the garlic.
I love garlic. Garlic is the best.
I think we should just walk to the closest place. Support local.
Okay, so you're thinking like a local pizzeria?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
We could do local.
Yeah, we can do local.
I mean, I guess as long as we're using the members' money, you want it to taste good, right?
But the members are not buying you guys endless pizza. So how many are you going to order? What are the toppings?
I'm kidding, by the way.
I am one of these members.
Come on, members, help us out. nfbpad@gmail.com.
You can sell us.
I think
I'm
we should
kidding.
probably get. There's what, 7 of us, so we should probably get maybe 2 larges, 2 mediums. Yeah. I don't know how hungry.
I'm pretty starvation-y. I would say 2 larges.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going local, 2 larges. Are we keeping it simple with toppings? Are we doing something extravagant? What are y'all favorite toppings?
One closer to simple and one like closer to extravagant on the scale. If we're doing two.
Yeah, I would agree.
Who is team pineapple here? Here's the real question.
Ugh, no.
Not I.
I love pineapple.
Okay, am I the only one here? Am I really the only one here who's team pineapple?
I love pineapple, Chris.
So
Okay,
don't get me wrong. I like pineapple, but
now and then.
I think it's a sin to cook it.
It is my favorite fruit raw, but raw.
Yeah, I love raw
It's okay on a pizza.
I just can't cook it.
I love it raw. I love it cooked. I love it, anytime, anywhere.
She would bring it water.
Okay.
Julia and Chris can have their own pineapple pizza, and the rest of us will.
Seriously.
Well, that means that
I'll tell you about a pizza after we're done recording.
So that means that you have to split one pizza between 5 other people. So you guys are actually like one slice. So you might want to.
I'm not gonna go that far.
I mean, I can sacrifice
we
myself.
aren't going to demand it.
Slice.
We're just,
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay,
I have an idea. This is a local restaurant, so maybe they will accommodate us and do one pizza in half with one half one side,
that's actually
one
what
half
I was
the
just
other,
about to
right?
say.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can get half a large pineapple and whatever else you guys want on it. I don't know if you're the pineapple bacon type or if you want
the pineapple
jalapenos.
pepperoni.
Yeah. And then the other half we could do like, something simple like a margarita or
is anyone vegetarian here?
Okay,
Christina, are you vegetarian now?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Remind me what's on the
That's not happening unless a doctor put a gun to my head and told me that was necessary. But,
here. Margarita's like basil tomato cheese. Yeah,
what's that one with the I think it's called a white pizza, actually. I was gonna say, what's the one with the white sauce?
That's good. I always love a good like barbecue chicken pizza too. That's
I love barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
With your pineapple.
Okay, here's the big problem with me is that if you say anything, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I love eating that because I love literally every single food. I'm just like a food fiend.
That is not a bad thing.
Is anybody on this call a mushroom fan?
I love mushrooms.
Actually, yeah.
Sorry. She's gonna eat all the pizza. She's gonna eat all the.
It's gotta have mushroom.
It's great.
What do you like with your mushroom though? Are you a mushroom pepperoni? Are you mushroom with the garlic onion pepper? What kind of mushroom are you talking here?
Either mushroom and pepperoni or mushrooms and sausage.
Okay, question.
Ooh, mushrooms and sausage. I could go for that. That's fine, but it's boring.
Well,
what about?
But if all 7 of us have to agree,
this
on
is coming from the person, who said, "Let's do one simple pizza and one fun pizza," and these are saying barbecue chicken pizza. And I'm like, that's a fun pizza. That's not a simple one.
No, you're right. Okay. Pepperoni simple.
But you don't have to do pepperoni. What if everyone finds it boring?
Pineapple on the side.
Yeah, you don't have to do pepperoni pizza. Christina, what are you thinking?
No, I was gonna say like half. Half, all of it pepperoni, and then one half can have like pineapple, and then the other half can have like shrooms or something. I don't know.
Shrooms.
So you're thinking like a half pepperoni. so you're thinking a half pepperoni mushroom and half pepperoni pineapple.
Yeah.
I like it. That'd be good.
I like it.
That'd be good.
Okay, so that's one of your pizzas. I'm writing down your order.
and then we could do half. Well, I don't know if we want too many mushrooms, but we could do half mushroom sausage and half barbecue chicken on the other.
What do you guys think of that?
Usually, if you're doing half and half, it usually has to be the same base.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Barbecue
so maybe
chicken has a barbecue sauce base. So
that's true.
Listen, Julia
that
knows.
Could be a problem.
I used to make pizzas. My parents used to own a bakery, so I used to make pizzas with them a lot. Yeah,
we didn't know that.
You didn't know.
Wow.
Okay, so maybe we do the
Julia's debut into podcast work is going to be something about like foodie podcast.
about all the food I can't stop eating.
Right.
Well, now I don't have to get barbecue chicken, but I mean, I guess we could do a whole pizza of that, or we could skip the barbecue chicken and do something else.
What do you guys think?
Well, I think that the half of it being barbecue chicken and something else is fine. The only reason why I say that is, this is an imaginary thing, so why not? But
this is imaginary, but it could be real one day.
It could be, but it's not.
Next year in Houston. National convention.
People It's like Julia and Caitlin both like the barbecue pizza, so they can have that half.
But Julia's comment was that they might not be able to do a whole. They might not be able to do half barbecue.
They don't do half
and
barbecues.
Something else on the other half because the barbecue sauce takes over the whole pizza. So we'd have to get either a whole barbecue pizza or no barbecue pizza.
That's how.
Which I probably could eat like half of a large.
There's also like buffalo chicken pizza out there. There's so many pizzas in this world.
Yeah,
I know.
See, so what's your other? You got one pizza so far.
So I just want to say
like you've been in New Jersey.
My boyfriend and I made this pizza. We made this pizza the other day, actually, and it had like pesto as the base. It had pesto and it had cheese, and then we put like he made little meatballs, and we like turkey meatballs, and they were really, really good, actually, and like they were really, really well seasoned. So we put those and olives all over the pizza.
Lovely.
Okay, no,
oh my
had
gosh.
me until the olives. No.
Okay,
so Chris says no olives.
No olives on one half, no olives on the other.
Yes, olives on half. We have to have olives on half.
Yep, olives are happening.
One pizza is the pesto. Yeah, I love it. Pesto, meatball, whatever else you said, with olives on one half, not olives on the other half. And the other pizza is pepperoni with pineapple on one half and mushrooms on the other half.
On the other half.
Oh, are we there?
Well, you guys have decided, and that was not 3 minutes.
Definitely more than 3 minutes.
9 minutes, but
well over 3 minutes.
At least we came to a conclusion. That is all that matters. Agreed. And that's our show, everyone. Thank each and every one of you for joining us today, and to the listeners, thank you. We wouldn't even be here without you. To learn more about your leaders, Caitlin,
you can always visit you can visit our website, nfb-pd.org. Find us on Facebook at National Federation of the Blind Performing Arts Division, Twitter, NFB_PAD, and you can always email us, nfbpad@gmail.com, with your comments and questions. We'd love to connect with you.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate all of you. This has been the 2nd anniversary episode of Scene Change.
I'm Caitlin McIntyre, president of the National Federation of the Blind Performing Arts Division. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Scene Change. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and visit our website at nfb-pad.org. There you'll find links to our social media, membership, and resources for blind performers. Thanks to everyone who makes this show happen. Scene Change is produced by Shane Lowe, Joe Schuneman, Precious Perez, Chris Newsbomb, Seyoon Choi, and Aaron Jordan, with music by Ryan Strunk and Tom Page. Remember, you can be the performer you want. Blindness is not what holds you back. We'll see you next time.